That brings us to his arrest. 8 months ago, in December 2022, the Romanian police arrested Andrew Tate on charges of sex trafficking 7 women and raping one of them. Andrew Tate could spend 10 to 15 years in Romanian prison. At this point in the case, the prosecution has officially submitted their case, and now the judge has 60 days to review the case file to decide whether to throw it out or send it to trial. 60 days would be over next month in August. How Andrew Tate made his money. He started out in the porn industry. He has admitted this. Basically, he dated porn stars and would help them run their websites. This seems to be how he made a large chunk of his money. Regardless, that's not sex trafficking. It's not a crime to work in the porn industry. It's not a crime to date a porn star. It is not a crime to share bank accounts when you are in a relationship. And I have seen no evidence that any of his former girlfriends were coerced to do anything. In fact, in all the interviews of his past girlfriends, they all speak very highly of him. He said that he stopped doing anything related to the webcam websites 5.5 years ago. None of Andrew Tate's shady past should be relevant to the current court case in Romania. The Romania charges are all for activities that allegedly took place starting in 2021, many years after Andrew Tate stopped working in the webcam business. So what is the evidence in the current court case against Andrew Tate? Apparently, very little. Now, we do not know exactly what is in the case file, but Andrew Tate's lawyers have seen the whole file and stated that there is no evidence for the charges against him. They are claiming that the prosecutors found several witnesses who have accused Andrew Tate of crimes, but without any evidence. It's just accusations. I tend to believe Andrew Tate's lawyers on this, because if there was some evidence, I am betting they would have leaked it to the newspapers by now. So we're sitting here trying to figure out this crazy situation with Andrew Tate. Let me just interject some life advice. If the government ever issues a statement, you should not just accept it at face value. You should at least ask some questions. I think the same thing goes with this situation with Andrew Tate. The Romanian government has issued these charges against him. I think it's worth questioning, especially since it seems there are some problems with the evidence. But it gets worse. In a shocking turn of events, 2 of the witnesses for the prosecution went on Romanian television and gave interviews saying that they were not victims. They claimed Andrew Tate was innocent. They said, "You cannot list me as a victim if I say I am not one." Despite the fact that the victims are denying the charges, the Romanian judge ruled in February that the victims have been brainwashed. The court is considering them victims of sex trafficking, even though the victims themselves say they were not sex trafficked. I watched the interviews of the girls. They did not seem brainwashed to me. It is completely absurd that the key witnesses in this case are saying that nothing happened, and the courts are just ignoring their testimony. Then, just 2 weeks ago, Andrew Tate appealed his house arrest, requesting that he be allowed to travel Romania freely pending his court date. This is very revealing. 2 judges looked at the case file. One judge decided to keep Andrew under house arrest, and the second judge decided to release Andrew from house arrest. The 2 judges looked at the same case file and came to different decisions, which speaks to the weakness of the prosecution's case. A 3rd judge was brought in and decided to keep Andrew under house arrest until the 60-day period had concluded. In another shocking revelation, Andrew Tate released a video on Monday this week explaining the case against him. He claims there are now only 4 girls making accusations against him, not the original 7 he was charged with. It is unclear what happened to the other 3 allegations, but maybe their stories did not pan out. 2 of the women are the ones who went on TV and said they were not victims. So that only leaves 2 women who are claiming they were kidnapped. And Andrew Tate provided security camera footage showing that they left his house under their own free will. Andrew Tate also alleges that one of these women has previously falsely accused 7 other rich men of kidnapping her in the past. She does not seem to be a very reliable witness. Now, I'm just not going to take Andrew Tate's word for it, so I looked into this further. A lot of the court documents have been released online. I have read all of them that I could find. Just to be specific, here is what is in the case file that I have seen. There are statements from 4 victims, each for time periods after 2021. Originally, there were 7 victims, but apparently now there is only 4. 2 of these girls are the ones who were allegedly brainwashed. One of the witnesses claims that the Tate brothers took 50% of their income. This comes from the statement of one of the victims who says, "They all were promised a 50% share of the earnings from OnlyFans and TikTok, but no contracts were signed." However, this is just an accusation. There is no financial evidence any transactions occurred. Think about that. The police took the computers, they looked at his bank statements, and there is no financial evidence to support the accusation? That's strange. Andrew Tate is also charged with rape, but I saw no evidence of that in the court documents. The case file also contains a lot of text messages between Andrew Tate and the girls that are pretty gross. In the messages, they talk dirty to each other. But that is also not evidence of any crimes. They're certainly embarrassing. Let me give you just a sample. "Andrew, you must understand that once you are mine, you will be mine forever. A woman never leaves her man. I will be the last man in your life. What do we do if we fall in love and I kidnap you to bring you to Bucharest? Girl, I don't think it's kidnapping if I want to come. Andrew, first, I need to see in your eyes that you could never live without me, and then I can trust you to show you everything. Girl, bring a ring with you when you come, smiley face emoji." And there is much more. I read them all. I can confirm that they are gross, but they were clearly meant to be private between romantic partners. I don't know how the prosecution is expecting to use this as evidence. The girl says that she wants to come and that she wants a wedding ring. I don't think that is evidence of trafficking or rape. Think about it from your own perspective. Can you imagine if someone took your text messages with someone you used to date and released them to the public? I would be mortified, because when you're dating someone, you joke around. You don't message how you talk in real life. Sometimes it gets a little spicy. I would be so embarrassed, because they're meant to be personal. I do not believe that because Andrew Tate sent some spicy messages to his girlfriend that that is evidence of sex trafficking. Otherwise, you would all be guilty too.